Hey everyone, and welcome back to the girls' room. I hope everybody had a lovely week and you are spending this Sunday rotting in bed or doing whatever makes you feel good. Wake up. It's the first of the month. So there's a few things that I want to start with. I think two mainly. The first one is about the supplement I told you guys about 2 episodes ago, SAM-E. Guys, abort mission. Abort, 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 abort. Now, I'm not a medical professional, but I should have done a little bit more research before I took this. I did ask my functional medicine doctor if it would be okay to take, and he said yes. I still should have done a little bit more research because, wow. So I started taking that supplement to help with feeling down. My therapist said she thinks I have like low level depression, and when I PMS, it is next level, which I didn't experience until my 30s. I never had PMS. I always had pretty easy menstrual cycles. And it really was crazy because my hormones just felt so out of whack, like something I've never really experienced. So she recommended this supplement, which I had heard of, I think, on TikTok. I incorporated it into my daily routine for like 3 weeks. And like I said, I think it was 2 episodes ago, like me and Amanda were both taking it and we were feeling like really good, like on top of the world. Not high, but just like high of like endorphins. So I'm assuming it like fucks with your dopamine receptors, which is never good. Really anything mood altering can do that, and you can have a pretty adverse effect once you're off of it. But I was taking it, and naturally, because I'm irresponsible with all my supplements, I ran out and hadn't ordered another bottle. So I was like, okay, I'll order another one. Well, this is the one time that my irresponsibility did me a fucking favor, because I cannot imagine being on that long term and what it would have felt like for me. So I got off of it. Well, I accidentally got off of it, and I started feeling like really high anxiety, which is also like, I have anxiety now, but like this is also new for me. I didn't have anxiety like when I was younger, but I've never had anxiety where it was like racing heart and like dry mouth and just feeling like really insane, having these crazy thoughts, like mental thoughts, like insane, that were taking over. Like I was getting my hair cut, and like the thoughts that were in my head, I was like, what is happening right now? Well, I'm trying to just like enjoy my haircut and have a conversation. So it was just crazy. I was feeling really crazy, and I was like, what is going on? And then I realized that I hadn't taken the supplement in a few days. So it took a few days, I guess, to get out of my system where I started feeling the side effects. And then they got like really much worse. Nightmares. So I said to my girlfriend, I'm like, you're probably gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm not feeling right. Like I felt off, and I was like, my anxiety is crazy. And it happened like after like 4 or 5 days, it got really, really bad. Like I couldn't sleep. It was insane. And she's like, no, babe, I've been having crazy nightmares. My anxiety's been really bad. And I guess we both just like, I think maybe she didn't say anything because she wasn't correlating that it was the supplement. And then when I said, I think it's that we haven't taken the supplement. It's the only thing we've done differently in our like routine. And she was like, oh my God, you're right. So I started Googling it, and yeah, the side effects are insane for an over-the-counter supplement. I mean, you might as well just take the real like deal antidepressants or like benzos or whatever they prescribe for that, because I feel like it's the exact same like come down, but maybe the prescription ones are like a little bit more regulated. I don't know, but proceed with caution. I know a few people asked me what it was, and I was feeling great. Like, I feel like you could even see it on that podcast episode. Like, I was flying high, and yeah, 0 out of 10, do not recommend. I will not be, well, I did repurchase it. I will not be taking it. Maybe you could like take it if you're having a bad day. Like, I don't know. Like, if you are just feeling like shit, maybe it will give you a pick-me-up for the day. But considering that I was only taking it for 3 weeks and I had that reaction, I'm terrified to know what it would feel like after 3 months or a year on something like that. So, disclaimer, maybe don't take SAMe. I can't wait to tell my therapist about this because I have not. So yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to start with. I needed to give you guys that tea because, yeah, I need to protect my family here in the girls' room, and I don't want anybody having to deal with that because it was not fun. On to the next topic. My last episode with my dad that I released on Sunday, wow. I got really amazing feedback about that from a lot of people that know me, that know my dad, that know our relationship. It was really cool to just see all the messages I got about his sobriety and how it really touched people or made them feel seen, or they're going through, they're sober and they're going through their journey with sobriety, and seeing that it works and seeing how life can be if you are having a problem with some sort of substance and you are able to come out on the other side of that. It's really incredible to come out on the other side of that. It's a disease, and it's really cool how my dad is really involved in his community within AA and all of that. And I'm always just in complete awe of like listening to him speak about those topics and how he helps like young people that were him at one point, and speaking in his meetings. It's just like really inspiring and really cool. And you know, addiction is a terrible disease, and I was really nervous about putting that episode out because A, it's my family. So talking about things like that, it's one thing when you're doing it at home or amongst you and your friends or at dinner. It's another thing when you're putting it on a public, like on social media essentially. Not that I have a huge following, but you never know. Fingers crossed. I've been getting really good feedback about this podcast, so let's take it up. But yeah, I'm very protective over my family in general, and I almost didn't post the episode for a few reasons that I think can be relatable to people, not just that want to pursue content creation or any sort of anything where you're putting yourself out there and you are the forefront of it. I think that these feelings are things that you probably feel that hold you back. I almost didn't post it because it wasn't perfect. That's number one, is wanting everything to be perfect all the time and being your own worst critic. Like, I was so focused on certain parts of that interview when I was editing it that I just couldn't even see like the bigger picture of like why it was good. I was just so harped on like, I didn't like the way I looked. I felt like I looked very swollen and bloated, if I'm being honest. Like, my face was so round to me in that video, and I'm like, was it the angle? Like, that was the first thing that was really driving me crazy. Doing anything like this, it's hard to just like look at yourself and you're just analyzing every single thing about yourself. And, you know, I really want to practice what I preach, and I've preached on this podcast taking messy action and doing things that are hard and putting yourself out there, even though it might not be perfect. So in the spirit of all the things that I talk about, I needed to be about it. And even though it wasn't perfect, that was okay. And I sent it to my sister-in-law. Thank you, Adela. And she thought she's like, post it. You need to post it. It's real. It's authentic. These are things that this is what happens when you start something new. Like, I had never interviewed anyone before, and even if it's literally your dad, it's still nerve-wracking because you're filming it and you're putting it out there. And, I kind of jumped right into it in the beginning. I didn't warm it up at all. And now I know for next time, like, I felt a little mechanical at some parts because I just didn't know what to say. I was like paralyzed by my nerves and fear, but I pushed through. I think towards the end of the interview, we were both a little bit more relaxed when I was asking the more fun questions. But he was nervous too. And I'm sure we're both similar in a way of like, we don't love like the spotlight on us, and we can be shy in those situations. So we're probably feeding off each other's energy, and I think you can probably see that, but that's okay. So I just needed to keep telling myself, like, that's okay. You've never done this before. It's your first time doing it. Now I know. And, I wanted to tread carefully because we were talking about some sensitive topics as well. And it's hard putting your personal life and your business in the forefront. But I'm really happy I did it. I mean, even just receiving one message from someone telling me that it helped them or anything positive of the sort, even just one is like enough. And I got way more than one. And it's cool because it's people that I know that are responding. And we always hear like, your friends are your haters and the people around you are haters. And yeah, they're definitely, I have over 2,000 Instagram followers. And yeah, I have like over 1,000 Spotify searches. I think that there are people that I know from like Instagram, but do you think that they engage with it or anything? No, but I'm choosing not to focus on that. If you are searching for me on Spotify, that's great. If you think I'm stupid or like, you're like, who the fuck does she think she is? No one cares what she has to say. That's great. Move along. But I'm choosing to focus on the good, and the good for me has been like really overwhelming. My dad is the best, and knowing that he was like received well was important to me, not for appearances, but for fact, because he is such an incredible dad. And I'm glad you guys got to see a little bit of our relationship and how we can kind of be goofy, and how at the end of the day, no matter what I'm doing, he's been in my corner from day one. And he's like that with me, my brother, my sister. He's always in our corner. No dream is ever too big. And he's just very vocal and supportive, and he shows up. And he's the best. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that sent me messages, or if you just listened, that's incredible. And I do hope to do another part or another episode with him in the future, which I will. But I think I need to get some of my friends on here because that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, if you're feeling imposter syndrome, like, you can only get over these things by doing. It's really the only way to overcome anything, whether you're scared of heights, whether you want to be a content creator, whether you want to change your job, any of those things, you need to get over that fear by doing the thing that scares you the most. And I've said this before, but there are so many ways that you can overcome that fear by taking really small steps. Maybe your transition isn't as big as mine or as hectic and chaotic, where I kind of decided to change every aspect of my life kind of like back to back to back. Maybe for you, it's something on the smaller scale. Maybe you just want a new job. Maybe you want to switch your careers. Start somewhere, start looking, start putting your feelers out there, maybe trying things that interest you, take a class. There's just so many ways to get over it, but I am putting myself in the forefront of this as like the poster child of imposter syndrome and pushing through it. We are pushing through that, all of those feelings. That's exactly what they are. They're feelings, not facts. And if your gut is calling you to do something, it's for a reason. It's always for a reason. And maybe you tried and you don't like it, but that's okay, because you gotta open the door somehow. So yeah, I just wanted to speak on that. I know I've spoke on it before, but I think it's important to reiterate, because you are on this journey with me essentially, and I'm gonna keep it real about all the parts of this journey. And I am still at the part where I'm dealing with this major fear and imposter syndrome and just trying to do it. So yeah, I feel like a lot of people want to get into the content creation space and they want to learn how to put themselves out there or their business out there, and they truly just don't know what to do or where to start. And yeah, it's a lot, but there's a lot of free resources on the internet to learn how to start scaling your business, start you being the brand, which is what I'm trying to do. So if anybody listens that wants to help brand me, that would be amazing. But yeah, being the brand, being myself, doing these hard things, that is what I'm doing. Yeah. Oh God. You need to push past that imposter syndrome, push past all of those feelings of inadequacy, push past all of the fear, whatever it is, and just put yourself out there. Like, every time I am just like beating the shit out of myself, I'm like, look at the stuff that you watch on TikTok, Clarissa. Like, dead ass. Like, look at what people put out there on TikTok. Like, the most ridiculous shit in the world people put on social media. People post every time they take a shit on their fucking Instagram stories. Like, I'm not even being dramatic. Like, people post so much, they share so much of their lives, and that's fine. And it doesn't necessarily offer like value, but it offers entertainment, right? And we like to be entertained. So anytime I'm like thinking in a way that's not conducive to me growing as a person, I'm just like, or I'm scared to put it on TikTok or whatever, I'm just like, look at the shit you watch. Like, your algorithm is very telling. And I'm here trying to offer some sort of value and like have a platform that's fun and is about growth and also about beauty and pop culture and just all different types of things. And I'm like questioning every episode, every move, like just being so hard on myself. And it's unnecessary. I just don't need to be so hard on myself. Like I said, people post literally fucking everything. And now I'm breaking out of that comfort zone. And I think like a little bit less. The thoughts are still there. They're still there, but they're less. And that says a lot, because let's talk about growth. Like look I'm buffering again. Looking at where I was, I cannot believe that I'm on my bathroom floor filming a podcast and making an idea come to life. That is incredible. If you have any idea of anything you want to do, try, whatever, and then you do it, that right there is where you're getting over the fear, and it truly is incredible. Like, take a minute and sit with yourself so that you can realize what that is that you just did. It's huge. It might not seem huge, like maybe you did something like, I don't know, did a little bit of research. It's still huge because you're one step closer to whatever that thing is. And that's what I have to keep reminding myself. Like, we are always like forgetting the journey and how exciting this part is, the actual growing part of the journey. And I am so proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. I think I'm just saying that to you guys, but I am sometimes proud of myself. I'm not gonna act like I'm always proud of myself, but lately I've been trying to be proud of myself. I'm working on it. I'm trying to acknowledge myself and my growth and my work, and you should do the same thing, because we are all fighting different battles and we all have different goals, and you never know what people are going through. If you know me personally, you know me as a very bubbly girl who's always cracking jokes, roasting her friends, just really lighthearted and goofy, a goofy soul, but still with a lot of depth, because we are multi-layered or just layered. We are layered. But most people know me as someone where if I said like I'm depressed, people would be like, what? You're not depressed. You seem so happy. I'm one of those. So you really don't know what people are going through. And at my lowest low, I think the only people that knew the place I was in were the people that were close to me, like really close to me, because that's my coping mechanism and that's my way of dealing with any problems, is to joke, is to make self-deprecating jokes. It's to just kind of not, I don't want it to be seen. I just want it to be okay. Like, I'm just like, everything's fine. I'm fine. I got it. I'm very much in I got this type of girl. I don't need help. I think a lot of us are that way. And I don't want to be like that anymore. And I've gotten a lot better. And I have an amazing partner who literally knows that something's wrong just by the way I'm breathing. Like, she always knows, even if it's the smallest insignificant thing, she always knows that something's wrong. And I have never experienced that in any other relationship. I've never had someone be so in tune with me that they can pick up on things even when there really isn't truly anything major that's wrong. Maybe I'm just having an off day. She knows and she asks, and then she's there. And that is honestly priceless, to have somebody that can just know you inside and out, like really know you, know everything about you. Like, she knows that even though I'm strong and I do handle most things well, that even if I'm like handling it well, like inside I'm like on fire. Like, she knows that. So yeah, I think I want to just be someone that I want to be better with asking for help, because you truly never know when something's going on with someone. And I think that's evident in a lot of situations where things unfortunately maybe go a little too far in another direction, and someone's really suffering. I'm not sure how I got on this topic because I didn't make a clear outline for this episode, because I like to be feral sometimes. But I feel like I feel like I'm on the theme of what I was talking about to some degree. So yeah, do the thing that makes you scared. Do the thing that you've been thinking about. Ask for help, and don't be like afraid of the help. But I know that can be like a scary thing, because a lot of us are just used to dealing with things and internalizing them on our own. There's so many resources out there now. And obviously there's just a I know that I'm super blessed with friends and family, and not everybody always has access to those type of relationships. So if you ever have a problem that you want advice to or anything like that, please feel free to email me. If you maybe don't have someone that you can talk to, or you don't feel comfortable talking to people that are in your life about a certain topic, feel free to send me a message or email me. It can be anonymous. I solemnly swear I was never a Girl Scout. They probably don't do this, but I swear if you write that you want it to be honest, or how about I can make it all anonymous. Whatever you guys think is better is what I will do. But yeah, send me an email. Let me know what's going on. I love giving advice. I love helping people. That's like literally in my human design chart, which if you guys haven't ever looked at that, it's really cool. You just need your birthday, place, and time that you were born. And mine is like so spot on. It's insane. I can go through it. No, I can't go through it right now. But it's so spot on. And a lot of people work through their human design charts. Like they find work that aligns with that. And this is spot on for me, and helping people in general, which is probably why I was drawn to do hair, because I didn't want to go to school to be like a therapist or some sort of person in that field. I just didn't want to be in school like ever. So I was smart. I am smart, but I guess I'm a little more entrepreneurial, if that even makes sense. But I am definitely meant to help people. Use me as your resource if you want to get help with anything, or if you want to tell a funny story, a dating story, seriously anything, even if it's just a topic that you want me to talk about, please feel free to send it in. I want to involve my audience more into this podcast. I think that that's important, and it's interactive and it's fun, and we can make a segment out of it. Send it all in, and let's get that ball rolling on that. So I know I've spoken about some of these things before, but I just wanted to touch base on them again because they are prevalent in my life right now. And I think they are just prevalent in general. I think since COVID, people are making a lot of life changes still. And I think it just like made people like be over the bullshit in terms of doing things that don't make them happy. So that's kind of a reoccurring theme for me. It's like, do what makes you happy. So yeah, we're moving past imposter syndrome. If you need tips on how to do that, like for a specific situation, you can also write to me about that as well. Everybody needs a friend, so I'll be your friend. And I get lonely in the girls' room. That's why I got my dad's ass on this podcast, because I get lonely in the girls' room. I'm here like talking to myself. My dogs don't talk. And I like talking to you guys like this, but let's make it more interactive. Switching gears, I meant to talk about this last week, but I wound up interviewing my dad. Can we talk about Saltburn? Because my jaw's on the floor if you're listening and not watching. That's what that was. Wow. I love Jacob Elordi, so I knew that this movie was going to be weird as shit. And it was weird, but holy shit. First of all, I have been singing There's a Murder on the Dance Floor. I've been singing that song nonstop. Like, I want to strip naked and dance around my apartment just like, I forgot his name, but just like the other dude did when, if you didn't watch it, sorry, spoiler alert, when he like took over their entire lives. Well, I guess it's kind of a spoiler. I said it in a way that's like completely doesn't spoil it. I really enjoyed this movie. There is a lot of mixed reviews about this movie and how people felt about it. I think people felt like it was too weird. I didn't think it was like insanely weird, especially watching like Euphoria, or I don't know if weird's even the right word, just like, I don't know the right word. not your typical film or show with Euphoria. It's definitely like, it just kind of makes you be like, what the fuck? But also like you can't stop watching. It kind of does that. I love Jacob Elordi. That is like one tall glass of water. He is phenomenal. The entire cast was really phenomenal in that movie, especially the other main character. I think his name is like Barry Keogh or something. I can't remember, but he was phenomenal. And then he did like, I think, a GQ shoot, and it was so good. It might have been GQ, I can't remember. Maybe it was something else. Maybe it was Gucci, I don't know. But he looked phenomenal, and that movie, like Rosamund Pike, when I saw her in Gone Girl, I was terrified of her. She is just an incredible actor, and like all of them the whole cast was incredible. But the twist at the end of that, I wasn't expecting. Like, I 100% thought that he had to do with another, this is another spoiler alert. I knew he had to do with like Jacob Elordi's character dying, and the Sotheby's thing when he sent out that email. I knew that was all him. I couldn't figure out how he killed Jacob Elordi because it wasn't like a violent crime, but then when they showed you how, it like made sense. But I just was not expecting the twist at the end. I just thought it was going to be like a deranged, obsessed kind of story, which we've seen before. We've seen so many movies. Like, I think there's literally one called Obsessed. I think Beyonce's in that one. We've seen so many movies like that, and I was kind of like, oh, but this one's like with a twist, because they typically don't portray same-sex couples in situations like that. It's usually like a crazy obsessed woman with some like married dude, and this one was obviously two boys that were friends. The bathwater thing was definitely like, and also like when he fucked his grave. like was that necessary? He desecrated the fuck out of his grave. Is desecrated the right word? Sometimes I just be saying shit. But yeah, that was a little bit much. Like, the bathwater part was like funny to me because there's all those like candles now that say Jacob Elordi's bathwater or something like that. But when he like fucked his grave in the rain, I was like, this is why I wasn't expecting the twist at the end, because he just seemed obsessed and in love, which he was, or maybe he wasn't, or maybe he was just a sociopath. But 10 out of 10 sociopath acting. Like, yeah, that last scene, and that song, that's a good song. And there was a murder, a lot of them. Let me know if you guys watched Saltburn, because yeah, I did really like it. But I want to know your thoughts, because it's such a mixed bag with that. People are like all over the place. I think it was too weird for some people. I don't think it was not weird enough for anyone. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. Let's talk a little bit Housewives, because I just watched the Housewives of Salt Lake City final installment of the reunion, the part 3. I don't know why I said final installment. That was so weird. I think I'm on Klarna too much. I watched the part 3 of the reunion. First of all, let me say this. Never, I don't think ever in the history of 3-part reunions have I actually thought 3 parts were necessary and that they were all good. However, these 3 parts were all incredible. I loved all 3 of them. And also, if you can, watch the uncensored extended versions on Peacock. They are the best. Watch it the next day. Don't even bother. I watched the first one when it aired, the same night that it aired, but honestly, it's so much better on Peacock. Like, I'm obsessed that they do it. You could hear them cursing. It's so much better than everything just being like bleeped out all the time. And it was really, really, really good. I feel like I am obsessed with Angie K. I love her. When she told Monica that she was a low brow, not brown, a low brow rat from the gutter, I was fucking dead. Now, that's a mob wife if I ever heard one, since they accused her of being in the Greek mafia. Calling someone a rat from the sewer is like top tier insult. Like, you cannot come back from being a rat from the sewer. Like, you are literal garbage. I mean, at least, I don't know if that's a New York thing, or I don't know. But calling anyone any sort of rat is not just for the snitching, like, aspect of it, but just, like, who wants to be a rat? Like, you're a rat. That was amazing. Angie K was phenomenal this entire reunion. She's a great addition. I love her. I love seeing how she's so logical and rational, but when you come for her and she comes back at you, she comes back at you and, like, period. That's it. And she's not even, like, really low blowing. Like, considering all the stuff Monica was doing, she's not low blowing as much as, like, some other people might. But she's still getting the point across, which that's a talent and a skill. To, like, be able to insult someone without going straight to hell with your insult, but making that, like, making it impactful where the person's just like, shut the fuck up with this one comment. And she didn't even really curse. Like, she cursed at some parts, but, like, I don't know. I was impressed. We like Angie K. Monica apparently got fired and is not returning, and I am fine with that. I typically say a housewife needs 2 or 3 seasons before we really get to see her. Like Crystal on Beverly Hills, I did not like her at first. I think this is her 3rd season, and I really like her now. You have to remember, like, especially for people that have never been on TV, never done reality TV, not used to it, I could only imagine just from doing this podcast alone how awkward and weird it is to, like, have a camera crew following you around for months at a time. Like, if you've never been in any sort of, I don't think she has any film background, anything like that. So with Salt Lake City in general, this was the best season. And it wasn't, I feel like people are saying it was because of Monica. It wasn't really. I mean, that was the last episode, or the last 2 episodes, where this all came out about her being this reality Von Teese Finsta account, which, if you don't watch, I said this a few episodes back, she basically infiltrated this group, was part of this fake account, and was, like, bashing these women and posting really, like, sharing really fucked up things, but, like, trying to frame it now as she was just trying to expose the person who was originally saying them. It's like, you're, like, what's the word? You are, I can't think of the word. Like, you putting it out there also, it looks bad because you're trying to make someone else look bad, but you're still sharing these awful things that they said on a very public platform. So you're just as bad. Like, you could have done that in private or sent it to them in private. Like, you were part of this, and even though there was more than one person, you were still part of it, and your mission was to take down Jen Shah, who's now in federal prison. And you did that, but, like, the rest of the behavior against the rest of the cast and then trying to be friends with them, like I said before, it's giving weird, delusional, deranged stalker fan. So yeah, I just feel like she is not deserved of another chance on Housewives. I also feel like she has so much shit going on in her personal life with her mom and her family, which it's really, you guys should watch it. It's, like, seriously. I mean, it's only 4 seasons if you haven't watched it. Salt Lake City's only 4 seasons. You should watch it. But yeah, watching this dynamic between her and her mom and how toxic it is, it's like, you shouldn't be on maybe a reality TV show, because it seems like you have issues and things and problems that you need to work through personally by yourself before putting yourself out there. Like, this was, like, masochistic behavior to the T, like, putting yourself on this platform and then getting exposed for what you did. I don't know. And then thinking, like, it's cute, showing up with a burn book to the reunion, but then trying to apologize. Like, you don't know if you're coming or going. So, like, go to fucking therapy and don't come back till you're done. But yeah, I just think that I think people are giving her too much credit for saying that she saved the season. This was like a piece. Also, she like skipped out on the bill at one of the other castmates' beauty spa where they do like fillers and injectables and all types of treatments. She went there under like 3 different names, which I don't know how nobody there, first of all, Heather, get a new staff. How did nobody know that this person was there with 3 different names? Like, you recognize her, I would imagine. She like skipped out on thousands of dollars of a bill there, which Heather found out in like the last episode that it was her, that it was that Monica that owed her business a ton of money. So just so weird and telling that she then went to try and befriend these people. She did befriend them, and they gave her like a chance, like a real chance. They took her in. They were so kind to her, and she just can't own it, or she like half takes responsibility and then puts it on something else or an excuse or whatever. She wants to be seen as a hero, I feel like, for exposing these things that people were saying, but it's just like gross. So yeah, I'm fine with her not coming back. I think that the cast right now has come a long way and is good. And I think the only problematic person that also gives comedic relief that I will tolerate is Mary Cosby because she's just a whole different level. And now she's there in doses, but I really like Mary. She's insane, but I really like her. Those are my thoughts on like the Salt Lake City final of the reunion. Yeah, I hope Heather's okay. I do like Heather. I feel like she took all of this the hardest, probably because she was basically like a victim of Jen Shah's bullying and abuse with the woman gave her a black eye. Like, guys, you have to just watch. Like, we are talking federal prison, black eyes, Greek mafia, burn books, Finsta pages. I mean, it's like the perfect cocktail for reality TV. Like, if someone's not going to federal prison, it's just not the Housewives. Well, I guess only Teresa did. But that mixture of things, it's like chef's kiss entertainment. But yeah, with Monica, one season wonder for sure. And yeah, I hope she gets the help she needs. So yeah. Speaking of Bravo though, I did listen to Raquel Goes Rogue's second episode, even though last time I said like I shouldn't have given her the play. I'm too fucking nosy to not give her the play. I'm nosy and I kind of want to know what she has to say, because usually whatever she says is ridiculous. But she's another example of someone where I said like that shouldn't be on reality TV because they are not mentally fit for it. I cannot imagine that it's easy. And I think people just like blow their lives up like on purpose. It's like self-sabotage when they are just in situations that they shouldn't be in. And that's what happens when you don't go and seek your happiness and advocate for yourself, is you self-sabotage and you blow up your whole fucking life. I have done it before, trust me. And yeah, because you don't want to face whatever is not making you happy. And I think like Monica is an example of that. And so is Raquel. See guys, Bravo can also teach life lessons. Yeah, Bravo's doing more than it's doing other things for us. See, we're learning, we're growing through these situations. But yeah, Raquel is someone who shouldn't be on reality TV really. But I also felt like with the amount she's still talking about this stuff, she could have just went back on while she's like in her treatment and stuff and told her story there and faced the music, so to speak, like on her actions. But I will say it's very weird that she's being interviewed on her own podcast the first 2 episodes. And like the sound quality is terrible. I think it's a producer that's interviewing her. My sound sounds better. And they're like, you know, people with money and stuff and like a studio. But sound quality is terrible, which irks me. And yeah, the fact that she can't just speak on these situations or maybe even form it as like, I'm reading questions that people have asked about this situation and then answering them, that she has to be interviewed on her podcast about this. I think it just speaks to the fact that she cannot lead herself like through much. She needs to be led. And that's why I just don't get why she even has a podcast. Maybe it'll grow and evolve into something else, but I feel like if we're just going to keep talking about Scandival when almost a full year has gone by, you could have just went back and stood up for yourself, but whatever, that's just my opinion. Anyway, she does spill a lot of tea in episode 2. So I think episode 1 was really stupid. Episode 2, she spilled a lot of tea. Like, we knew Schwartz knew the whole time, but she confirmed that he knew the whole time. She confirmed how Tom was asking her to lie. I mean, I think it's stuff that we all kind of thought already, but she reinforced that those thoughts were right. But the trailer for season 11 looks amazing. I cannot wait to watch. I feel like Ariana is just going to be like ripping his head off left and right, and I am 100% here for it. I got her cocktail book, and I feel like it would be fun to make cocktails from her book. Maybe I should like do an episode where I do that. Oh my God, that's a good idea. Maybe when I do an episode with my friends, oh my God, my best friend is like literally a mixologist of sorts. She's like a real deal bartender. Like, she's not like, you know, just pouring like vodka soda. That would be probably fun. Oh my God. I like this idea. Anyway, her cocktail book is phenomenal. And yeah, I'm excited for season 11. There's not much to say, but the trailer looks really good if you haven't seen it yet. So yeah, I think that's my reality TV Bravo pop culture talk. And this is a new thing that I want to put into every episode. I'm just going to end every episode with this. I don't know what the word, if segment is the right word for it, but I think it'll be a good way to end every episode. And you guys can also share yours with me if you want to. But I'm going to end the episode with my high and low of the week. And maybe I'll do my low and then high of the week so that we are ending on a positive note here. So my low of the week was coming down off of that supplement. Yes. 0 out of 10, do not recommend. That's my low. My high of the week. I think my high of the week this week is, well, it's only the middle of the week technically when I film. So maybe I'll just do like last week's high. Let's see. I got a really cool UGC collaboration with a brand, a really well-known wellness brand. So that was really cool because they found me and reached out to me through my new TikTok that I just started, which was also kind of crazy because that TikTok has like no followers. It's the one I created for like this podcast. I'll pop up the name of it. Please follow me if you are on TikTok. I'll post the Instagram and the TikTok that I use for this. So yeah, that's really cool. It's a pretty big deal. I usually keep things close to the chest or vest, whatever people say. But I'll share that. That was a high. And also sitting down and filming this podcast is always a high for me, especially after all of the fear and imposter syndrome I was experiencing last week after I did that episode. So showing up for myself again for now 5 weeks straight, doing something consistently that I enjoy and getting all the feedback, that's definitely my big high for the week. Like all of the feedback I got, pushing past my fears, showing up for myself, doing what I said I was going to do. Those are definitely really big, fun, cool highs for the week. I can't thank you enough for your feedback. Thank you so much for being here, for tuning in every single week. For those of you that have been, it means seriously so much to me. Like I had, I think 70 listens on one episode on my Spotify, and then my YouTube has also, like, the views keep going up, and 50, 60, 70 might not sound like a lot, but like to someone might be like, oh, that's nothing. But like for me, even 10 or 20 people tuning into something that I created and listening to what I have to say, like, how fucking amazing is that? And I am really, really grateful. So I'll express my gratitude through my high of the week. And thank you for tuning in for another episode of The Girls Room. I hope to see someone in my inbox this week. Send me your problems, send me your topics, send me your questions, send me your stories. I want to hear from you. I hope everybody has an amazing week ahead. I will see you next Sunday for episode 6. We're almost at 10, guys. Thanks for tuning into The Girls Room, and I'll see you on Sunday. Love you. Bye.